Well, a good morning from the creek. I hope everyone is doing well. A beautiful sunrise here in the Magic Valley, really spectacular. I did not plan to make another posting this week, but here we are. Want to share some nonsense with you, and I actually want to try to make a point with some of the nonsense that I get myself into. My random thoughts, as I've told you before, they kind of run the gambit, just whatever comes across my crazy brain. I've been thinking the last couple of days about an incident that took place a few years back on a trip out west that Deb and I were taking. Thinking about that incident and the verse of scripture where Jesus says, I think it's in John, judge not according to appearance, but judge a righteous judgment. A lot has been said and I think misunderstood about judging, and some people want to use that prohibition against judging to defend their ideas and what have you, but don't want to get sidetracked. The Bible does not forbid judging. In fact, you have to make judgment calls every day, but how we judge and the judgment we make is the part we got to be careful of. You have to judge someone's in need, else you won't feel inclined to help them. It's the condemnation, that type of judgment that we're not allowed to make. You got to be very careful. And also our judgments, as Jesus said, need to be a righteous judgment and not always based on just outward appearance. Because things often aren't what they seem. That cup is still a bit warm. My goodness. Things often aren't what they seem. This particular incident that I've been thinking of, true story, and I've told you many times before that everything I make up is true, so you can believe it. We were on a trip out west, and we had stopped in Amarillo, Texas one day to have lunch, and a huge restaurant out there, and we thought, well, big as that place is, they got to have plenty of tables, and they did. A lot of room, a lot of excuse me, a lot of tables, a lot of floor space. And my wife doesn't like the table so much, she likes a booth. If given the choice, she's going to get a booth, and I don't mind. And they had quite a few booths, lined up against the back wall by the windows. And they had several rows of tables kind of perpendicular to the booths, where you could walk down the empty aisles between the tables and get to your booth. And we had a great lunch, a great visit together, trying to get our day planned out, where we're going to stop for the night, and those things you talk about. And we're getting ready to kind of pay the check and get back on the road. And at our age, you take advantage of restroom breaks every chance you can. So we decided, let's just go to the restroom, take care of all this before we go. I know too much information. But Deb, she doesn't like taking her purse to the ladies' room, so our routine is I let her go first, I guard the purse, then she gets back, I'll go and pay the check, and we're gone. Well, she got back to the table and took her seat, and I got up, went to the men's room, and I purposed in my mind, because I'm an idiot and I'm prone to get lost, what row I'm in, and I can walk down this row and get to the men's room. Coming back to our booth, I get in the aisle and I'm walking towards the booth, and as I entered the room, I discovered something. Looking down across the room at our booth, there is another guy sitting in the booth with my wife, Deb. Oh, no. No. I want you to know I got unsanctified quick. Just this ain't going to happen. I've heard tell that things are bigger in Texas. Well, that's going to include the knots I'm about to put on this joker's head. I done got ill. I started pounding my chest like one of them mountain gorillas, it's fitting to be on. And I start to paw on the carpet there like a bull in front of a red flag. Yeah. And I took off down there to take care of this situation. When I got down to the end of the room, where our booth was, I discovered three things. Three fairly important things. The first thing I discovered was that wasn't my wife in the booth. looked like her. They were similar age, similar build, same color hair, similar glasses, similar outfits. You know, it did from across the room. It looked like her, but I get up close. It's not her. And I glance to my right in our booth, and there's Deb looking at me like I'm about 3/4 crazy, which is nothing unusual. I get that look quite a bit. So I discovered it wasn't my wife. Second discovery I made was I was in the wrong aisle. I had came down the wrong aisle. I wasn't in the one I went up. I thought I was, but I was not. So I was in the wrong aisle and walked to the wrong booth. The third thing I discovered, and this is probably the most important, the third thing I discovered is that man sitting in the booth with that other lady, that joker was huge. The thought came to my mind, I guess things are bigger in Texas. This guy was, he was not someone I wanted to tangle with. And then he's looking at me like I'm about 3/4 crazy. I'm thinking, well, he must have talked to my wife. But he's looking at me. He's got that look like he's about to start pawing the floor. You know, so I kind of nod and smile, and I sneak around and get in my booth, and I sit down and I act like I got some good sense. Then I'm thinking, the Bible tells us to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. There's nothing wrong with anger. It's part of our emotions. Jesus got angry. It's just need to guard our temper and kind of control what we do when we get angry. Anger can motivate, and there's times when it's necessary, I suppose, but that flash of temper and flying off the handle is what the Bible teaches us against. Be slow to anger. So I was thinking about that, and about making righteous judgments and not making snap judgments. And with that thought in mind, you know, sometimes the person that's giving you so much grief and causing you so much anxiety, they may not be mad at you at all. You don't know their world. There may be something completely altogether not attached to you, just destroying them, and maybe you happen to be close or convenient. We don't know what goes on in other people's lives, and we need to be, I think, a little more compassionate with those who are a little irritating to us. And also the trials and the afflictions, the tribulations we go through down here. There are times when God lets us go through trials. The Bible teaches that. They're supposed to teach us things and supposed to strengthen us. And so we don't know why God allows certain things to happen, and we should be slow not to get angry with God and lash out against Him. I'm certain none of you have ever blamed God for problems. Gee, I certainly never have. Kidding, Lord. Slow to anger, slow to wrath, quick to listen, not making snap judgments. Why I thought of this incident, I don't know. It's been on my mind the last couple of days. Thought about it last night. Also, last night I was thinking about the time that an axe murderer saved my life. Another true story. Maybe one day I'll tell you about it. And I was thinking again last night about the time that God miraculously transformed a huge, black, man-eating, man-killing bear into a small white puppy. Small black puppy. It happened. I was there. Deb don't believe it, but I was there. Maybe I'll tell you about that one of these days too. But as for now, I didn't plan to come here, but it's a beautiful day, and this thought has been on my mind, and just wanted to share it with you and kind of warn you. Let us not make rash judgments. Let us be careful, because the Bible teaches us to be, a little more patient. So I determined right there that I was going to be more patient and try to line up more with Scripture and not get angry and make these rash judgments, because the Bible teaches that, and also for the sake of self-preservation. Because I was thinking, sitting there, if that big rascal decides he wants to get unsanctified and come start trouble with me, I can't fight this dude. It's just... So I determined in my mind right then and right there that if that big guy comes over to our booth and wants to start trouble, I'm going to let Deb fight him. Oh, still